What if one simple thing you do every night before bed is quietly working against your heart health? You may do it without thinking. You may have done it for years. And because it feels completely normal, you may never have considered that the timing could matter. For adults over 50, and especially over 60, the hours before sleep deserve more attention than most people realize. Your heart doesn't simply switch off when you go to bed. Your blood pressure changes. Your heart rate changes. Your nervous system changes. Your breathing changes. And your body begins a long period of repair and recovery. That's why what you do during the final hour or two before bedtime can influence how easily you fall asleep, how deeply you sleep, and how you feel the next morning. But let's clear up one thing immediately. There isn't one universal bedtime habit that causes heart disease in everyone. And you don't need to become afraid of your nighttime routine. Instead, today's video is about one particularly common mistake: eating a large, heavy meal right before going to bed. If you've been eating dinner late, having a large snack just before lying down, or regularly going to bed with a very full stomach, it's worth understanding what that habit can do to sleep, digestion, blood sugar, and potentially your cardiovascular health. And if you have heart disease, diabetes, reflux, high blood pressure, or take several medications, your personal situation matters even more. So stay with me, because we're going to explain what happens inside your body after a late heavy meal, why nighttime eating can affect sleep, which evening habits may be more important after 60, and what you can do instead. Why does bedtime matter for your heart? Let's begin with something many people don't realize. Your body follows a daily rhythm. Your sleep-wake cycle affects hormones, metabolism, body temperature, blood pressure, and nervous system activity. During normal sleep, your body generally enters a more relaxed state. Heart rate can decrease. Blood pressure usually falls compared with daytime levels. This nighttime reduction in blood pressure is sometimes called the normal dipping pattern. For many people, it's a normal part of the body's daily rhythm. But sleep isn't just about closing your eyes. Your body is actively doing important work. And when your sleep is repeatedly disrupted, your cardiovascular system may be affected. This is why healthy sleep deserves the same attention as healthy eating and regular physical activity. The bedtime habit: large meals too close to sleep. Now let's talk about the habit. Imagine it's 9:30 or 10:00 at night. You're hungry, so you prepare a large meal. Maybe it's fried food. Maybe it's a large plate of rice. Maybe it's pizza, burgers, or another heavy meal. Then you finish eating and lie down shortly afterward. It feels comfortable. You might even think, "I'll sleep better because I'm full." But your digestive system doesn't necessarily agree. Your body still has work to do. Digestion continues. Your stomach is full. Blood glucose rises after the meal. And if the meal is particularly large, fatty, or spicy, you may be more likely to experience digestive discomfort. For some people, lying down soon after eating can also worsen acid reflux. And reflux can make it harder to sleep comfortably. Why reflux matters. You might be wondering, what does heartburn have to do with heart health? The answer is that they're not the same thing. Acid reflux occurs when stomach contents move upward into the esophagus. It can cause burning discomfort, sour taste, coughing, or other symptoms. And lying down soon after eating can make symptoms worse for some people. But here's something especially important for older adults. Chest discomfort should never automatically be assumed to be heartburn. Heart problems can also cause chest pressure, discomfort, shortness of breath, sweating, nausea, or pain that spreads to the arm, jaw, back, or shoulder. If you're unsure whether chest symptoms are reflux or something more serious, don't try to diagnose yourself with an internet video. Seek appropriate medical attention. That's a distinction everyone over 50 should understand. The late-night blood sugar problem. Now let's discuss another issue. Large meals can cause blood glucose to rise. For a healthy person, the body responds by releasing insulin and managing that glucose. But the body's response to food is influenced by many factors: age, activity level, body composition, sleep, medications, insulin sensitivity, and overall health. If you have diabetes or prediabetes, the timing and composition of meals can be especially important. A very large late-night meal may make blood glucose management more difficult for some people. And if you are taking diabetes medication or insulin, your meal schedule should be discussed with your healthcare professional rather than changed randomly. This is another reason not to copy a nighttime eating routine from social media. Your body is your own. Why sleep and heart health are connected. Here's where the story becomes more interesting. The problem with eating heavily right before bed isn't necessarily that one late dinner will damage your heart. That's not the message. The concern is what happens when a pattern repeatedly disrupts your sleep or contributes to unhealthy metabolic habits. Poor sleep has been associated with several cardiovascular risk factors. People who consistently sleep poorly may have greater difficulty managing blood pressure, blood glucose, body weight, and stress. And if late-night eating causes reflux, discomfort, or poor sleep, it can become part of a cycle. You eat heavily. You feel uncomfortable. You sleep poorly. You wake up tired. You have less energy. You move less. You may crave high-calorie foods. And the cycle continues. Breaking that cycle can be valuable. But what if you're actually hungry? This is where we need some common sense. Going to bed extremely hungry isn't necessarily ideal either. If you're genuinely hungry before bed, you don't need to suffer through it just because you've heard that eating after a certain hour is forbidden. Instead, choose a smaller, balanced snack if appropriate. For example, depending on your dietary needs, a small serving of plain yogurt, a small amount of fruit, a modest portion of nuts, or another light option that fits your health plan. If you have diabetes, kidney disease, heart failure, or another medical condition requiring a specific diet, follow your healthcare professional's recommendations. The goal isn't starvation. The goal is avoiding a huge, heavy meal immediately before lying down. What about the no food after 7 p.m. rule? You've probably heard this one. Never eat after 7 p.m. But there's no universal magic cutoff time that applies to every human being. Your schedule matters. If you work late, eat later. If you go to bed at midnight, 7 p.m. is very different from someone who sleeps at 9 p.m. Instead of obsessing over a clock number, think about the relationship between your meal and your bedtime. If large meals close to bedtime make you uncomfortable or disturb your sleep, create more space between dinner and lying down. That's much more practical. The second bedtime mistake, alcohol. Now let's move to another evening habit that deserves attention. Alcohol. Some people believe alcohol helps them sleep. It may make you feel sleepy initially, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're getting high-quality restorative sleep. Alcohol can disrupt sleep later in the night. An excessive alcohol intake can contribute to high blood pressure and other cardiovascular problems. For some people, avoiding alcohol altogether is the healthiest choice. If you drink, follow appropriate medical and public health guidance, and consider your medications and medical conditions. And if you're taking medications that interact with alcohol, don't assume a small drink is harmless. Ask your doctor or pharmacist. The third mistake, too much caffeine too late. Coffee lovers, don't panic. Coffee itself isn't automatically bad for your heart. But timing matters for sleep. Caffeine can stay in your system for hours. If you drink coffee late in the afternoon or evening, you may feel perfectly awake at bedtime. But even if you fall asleep, caffeine may affect sleep quality. And poor sleep can have consequences for your overall health. So if you're over 60 and struggling with sleep, take a look at your caffeine schedule. You may not need to eliminate coffee. You may simply need to move it earlier in the day. And remember that caffeine isn't only in coffee. Tea, energy drinks, Some sodas, chocolate, and certain medications can contain caffeine. Check the labels. Hash the fourth mistake, going straight from the screen to bed. Now let's talk about something extremely common. You watch television. Then you scroll through your phone. Then you get into bed. Your brain is still stimulated. You may be reading news, watching emotional videos, arguing in comments, checking messages, or worrying about tomorrow. That mental stimulation can make it harder to transition into sleep. And when sleep is consistently poor, the heart doesn't get the restorative nighttime period it needs. You don't have to throw away your television. You don't need to live in complete darkness at 7 p.m. Instead, create a calmer transition. Dim the lights. Turn off stressful content. Put your phone away for a while. Read something relaxing. Listen to quiet music. Stretch gently, or simply sit and breathe. Your goal is to tell your brain, the day is ending, it's time to slow down. Hash the fifth mistake, checking your blood pressure over and over. If you have high blood pressure, you may monitor it at home. That's a good thing when done properly. But some people become anxious and check repeatedly. They see one number they don't like. They worry. They check again. The number changes. They worry more. And suddenly, bedtime becomes a medical examination. Home blood pressure monitoring is useful, but it should follow a consistent technique and schedule recommended by your healthcare professional. Don't panic over one isolated reading unless it's extremely high or accompanied by concerning symptoms. And if you're unsure what your numbers mean, discuss your readings with your doctor. Hash what should you do in the last hour before bed. Now let's build a better routine. Imagine it's about an hour before bedtime. You finished your main meal several hours earlier. You're no longer doing stressful work. The lights are softer. Your phone is away. You're not drinking a huge amount of caffeine. You're preparing your body for sleep. This creates a much better environment for recovery. Try something simple. A short walk after dinner can be beneficial for many people. Gentle stretching can help you relax. Reading can calm the mind. And keeping a consistent bedtime can help your body's internal clock. You don't need a complicated routine. Consistency matters more. Hash why a short walk after dinner may help. Let's talk about walking. A gentle walk after dinner can be an excellent habit for many adults. Physical activity supports cardiovascular health. Walking can help you stay active. And moving after a meal may also help with post-meal blood glucose in some people. But remember, this doesn't mean you should exercise intensely right before bed if it makes you more alert. A relaxed walk is very different from a hard workout. If you have balance problems, chest symptoms, severe shortness of breath, or other limitations, ask your healthcare professional what level of activity is appropriate. Hash what about drinking water before bed? Hydration matters, but drinking a huge amount of water immediately before bed can lead to repeated nighttime bathroom trips. And interrupted sleep isn't helpful. This doesn't mean you should dehydrate yourself. Instead, spread your fluid intake throughout the day. If you have been given specific fluid restrictions because of a medical condition, follow those instructions. And if frequent nighttime urination is a major problem, talk with your healthcare professional. It may be related to medications, prostate issues, diabetes, sleep apnea, fluid timing, or other causes. Don't simply stop drinking water. Hash the heart-smart bedtime routine. Let's put all of this into a simple routine. Hash 3 hours before bed. If possible, finish your main meal with enough time before lying down. Avoid making this your biggest meal of the day. Hash 2 hours before bed. Avoid large amounts of alcohol. Reduce stressful activities. Start winding down. Hash 1 hour before bed. Dim the lights. Reduce screen stimulation. Prepare your bedroom. Do something relaxing. Hash right before bed. Use the bathroom. Keep your environment comfortable and quiet. Take only medications as prescribed. And go to bed at a consistent time. This is not a perfect formula. It's simply a framework. What if you have heart disease? If you've already been diagnosed with heart disease, don't assume that a general internet routine is enough. Your doctor may have given you specific recommendations for fluid intake, salt, exercise, medications, blood pressure targets, weight management, and sleep. Follow those individualized instructions. And don't change heart medications because you're trying a new bedtime routine. Lifestyle habits work alongside appropriate medical treatment. They don't replace it. What if you wake up with chest pain? This is extremely important. If you wake during the night with chest pressure or pain, especially if it is severe, new, or associated with shortness of breath, sweating, nausea, fainting, or pain spreading to your arm, shoulder, jaw, back, or neck, don't assume it's indigestion. Heart symptoms can sometimes happen at night. Get urgent medical evaluation according to your local emergency guidance. Don't wait for a YouTube video to tell you what to do. Your safety comes first. Why older adults should take sleep seriously. Many people accept poor sleep as an unavoidable part of aging. It isn't. Sleep patterns can change as we get older. But persistent insomnia, loud snoring, repeated nighttime awakenings, gasping during sleep, or severe daytime sleepiness deserve attention. Sleep apnea, for example, can affect cardiovascular health and may require treatment. If your partner tells you that you stop breathing during sleep, don't ignore it. Talk with your healthcare professional. Treating an underlying sleep disorder may be much more valuable than buying another supplement. What about sleep supplements? This is another area where caution matters. You may see advertisements for magnesium, melatonin, herbal blends, and other products. Some people use them, but natural doesn't automatically mean appropriate. Supplements can interact with medications, and they may not address the underlying reason you're sleeping poorly. Before taking a new sleep supplement regularly, especially if you're over 60 and take prescription medications, ask your doctor or pharmacist. The biggest lesson. Let's come back to the main message. The problem isn't that you ate one late meal. The problem is when an unhealthy nighttime routine becomes your normal lifestyle. Large meals right before bed. Too much alcohol. Late caffeine. Stressful screens. No physical activity. Irregular sleep times. And repeatedly poor quality sleep. Together, these habits can work against your health. But the good news is that you don't need to change everything overnight. Start with one thing. Move your largest meal earlier. Or take a gentle walk after dinner. Or stop caffeine earlier. Or create a screen-free final hour. Or establish a consistent bedtime. Small improvements repeated consistently can become powerful habits. Your 7-day challenge. Here's what I want you to try for the next 7 days. For 1 week, finish your main evening meal earlier when practical. Avoid very heavy meals immediately before bed. Keep caffeine earlier in the day if it affects your sleep. Avoid large amounts of alcohol. Take a gentle walk after dinner if it's safe for you. Turn off stressful screens before bed. Keep your bedtime relatively consistent. And write down how you sleep. Don't obsess over it. Just notice. How quickly did you fall asleep? Did you wake during the night? How did you feel the next morning? Did you feel more rested? You may begin to notice patterns. Final message. If you're over 60, don't think of bedtime as the moment your health routine ends. Think of it as the beginning of your body's recovery period. Your heart continues beating. Your blood pressure follows its nighttime rhythm. Your brain processes the day. Your body repairs and restores itself. And your sleep gives your cardiovascular system an opportunity to recover. That's why what you do before bed matters. but don't become frightened by a single food or a single habit. Health isn't that simple. Instead, look at the pattern. Eat a balanced diet. Stay physically active. Manage your blood pressure. Take prescribed medications correctly. Don't smoke. Limit alcohol if you drink. Get enough sleep. And pay attention to symptoms that shouldn't be ignored. And tonight, before you go to bed, ask yourself one simple question. Am I giving my body a chance to slow down and recover? If the answer is no, you don't need to overhaul your entire life. Start with one change. Eat dinner a little earlier. Take a short walk. Put your phone away. Lower the lights. Give your mind a chance to become quiet. And let your body do what it was designed to do. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone over 60 who may benefit from improving their nighttime routine. And tell us in the comments, what is the one thing you usually do right before bed? Do you watch television? Check your phone? Have a snack? Drink tea? Or simply go straight to sleep? Your answer might help someone else recognize a habit they've never thought about. For more practical health information for adults over 50 and 60, subscribe to Sharp 50's official asterisk and turn on notifications. Because protecting your heart isn't only about what you do during the day. Sometimes it begins with what you do in the final hours of the night. Take care of your heart. Take care of your sleep. And most importantly, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video.